Hi, my name is Julio Rivera. I'm an activist, journalist, adventurer, veteran, television presenter, and businessman. I've covered many of the major historical events going on around the world over the past several years, and after watching regime changes, conflict, and historic elections globally, I've come to the conclusion that the most underreported crisis in the world today can be defined in only one word: malware. That's why I've decided to dedicate my time to educating people everywhere and exposing the dangers that exist on the devices that we've become tethered to and depend on for so many reasons in our day-to-day life. Welcome to This Week in Malware. On This Week in Malware, we'll be covering: the group behind Maze Ransomware has started a trend of publishing data and files from victims unwilling to pay ransom demand. The City of Torrance, California was involved in a DopplePaymer Ransomware attack that saw those victims that fail also have their personal data exposed, and ransomware operators are adopting data exfiltration in addition to encryption models. Is this the future of ransomware? After victims of a ransomware attack refused to pay up, the hackers behind Maze Ransomware published almost 700 megabytes of data and files taken from security staffing firm Allied Universal. According to published reports, this was only 10% of the files stolen, and the hackers have threatened the release of more data if the ransom payment is not made. This case marks a change in the world of ransomware, as now victims need to not only be concerned with recovering encrypted files, but what can happen if stolen files were to be leaked to the public. Allied Universal is aware of a situation that may involve unauthorized access to our systems. We take any situation of this nature very seriously. This incident is being thoroughly investigated by Allied Universal IT experts who have taken immediate and appropriate actions to reinforce existing security measures and to mitigate any potential impact. We have also engaged outside cybersecurity experts to re-verify our system's security. Keeping our company's data safe and that of our customers and employees is of paramount importance. Maze Ransomware is a ransomware strain that has been active for some time, but incidents involving Maze Ransomware have increased since May of 2019. The bad actors behind Maze Ransomware continue to have access to the company's servers and share a list of the file names associated with TLS and email signing certificates. They further warned that if Allied Universal did not pay, they would initiate a spam campaign using Allied's domain name and email certificates. After several attempts at a negotiation, talks between Maze Ransomware and Allied Universal hit an impasse. Maze Ransomware releases stolen Allied files. A public release was made of a link containing 7 zip archives containing files related to termination agreements, contracts, medical records, server directory listings, encryption certificates, and exported lists of users from their Active Directory servers. So what happens next? While many ransomware developers have threatened to release data if a ransom was not paid, this is the first known instance of it actually happening in such a visible manner. Threat actors globally are escalating their attacks to public disclosure of confidential and sensitive files, and victims need to weigh the cost of paying ransoms versus the potential cost of sensitive information or trade secrets being released to the public. These attacks may lead to an escalated cost of dealing with breach notifications, hiring data breach lawyers, and any subsequent lawsuits that may follow. The practice of disclosing stolen data as a penalty for not paying ransom demands is just starting to heat up, as the City of Torrance, California was recently victimized by an attack using DopplePaymer Ransomware. At the time of the attack, the hackers demanded 100 Bitcoin, or the equivalent of just under $700,000, ransom for a decryptor to take down files that have been publicly leaked and to not release any more stolen files. In February of 2020, the hackers behind DopplePaymer Ransomware created a website called DoppleLeaks that they used to publish the stolen data of victims who refused to pay up. In a recent update to the site, DopplePaymer Ransomware created a page titled City of Torrance, California, containing leaked file archives allegedly stolen from the city during the ransomware attack. Another attack involving DopplePaymer Ransomware was carried out against Mexico's state-owned oil company, Pemex, in an attack that demanded $4.9 million in order to decrypt the files. On Sunday, November 10, 2019, Pemex was hit with a ransomware attack that the company stated affected less than 5% of their computers. Employees reported that internal memos told them not to initially turn on their computers, but that the computers were up and running again later in the day the following Monday. In a statement posted to Twitter, Pemex stated that they were operating normally and that there was no effect on their fuel production, supply, or inventory. While reports initially stated that Pemex was affected by the infamous Ryuk ransomware that is known to attack large industrial companies, leaked ransom notes and the Tor payment site confirmed that it was actually the DopplePaymer ransomware, which is a variation of the BitPaymer ransomware. Attackers demanded a $4.9 million ransom. According to the Tor payment site's instructions for the victim, Pemex were to pay 565 Bitcoins to the DopplePaymer group, which translates to a value of almost 5 million USD at the time of the attack. Another interesting feature of DopplePaymer ransomware is that the payment site offers a chat feature where a victim can get support or negotiate with the ransomware developer. The online chat for the Pemex attack is empty, which indicates that Pemex did not attempt to use it to discuss the ransom with the attackers. Three more ransomware strains have created websites that are being used to disclose the stolen data of victims failing to pay ransom demands, and further illustrates why all ransomware attacks should be considered data breaches. Ever since the creators of Maze Ransomware uploaded their news site to publish stolen data of their victims who chose not to pay up, other ransomware actors such as Sodino Kibi Revil, Nemti, and others have been quick to follow. Here are some of the others that have also taken to using public disclosure. The hackers behind Nephilim Ransomware have launched a site called Corporate Leaks that is being used to dump the data of victims who do not pay the requested ransom. Nephilim Ransomware is a fairly newer strain and believed to be the latest version of the old Nemti ransomware. Clop Ransomware has recently released a leak site that they are also using to publish stolen data for non-paying victims. Clop Ransomware made news recently after it attacked the Maastricht University and was paid 30 Bitcoins by the university to recover its data. A relatively new ransomware called Sekhmet has also released a leak website called Leaks, Leaks, and Leaks. Not much is known about this ransomware other than that their ransom note is named recover-files.txt. Attack against Zaha Hadid Architects. Another recent attack against Zaha Hadid Architects has seen the victim say it will not pay a ransom following a cyber attack in April of 2020 where a hacker threatened to leak its data. Zaha Hadid Architects first reported the incident to the authorities on April 21st of 2020 and is behind the design of hundreds of high-end buildings all over the world. The hackers, who call themselves Light, stole data from the company's network and encrypted everything with their ransomware. They are now threatening to release the files onto the dark web if the company refuses to pay the ransom settlement. ZHA has said their data was backed up. The hackers provided the website ZDNet with proof that they have ZHA's files in their possession and said that the architecture firm refused to negotiate. ZHA reportedly contacted the police soon after its staff knew of the data breach but did not comment on additional questions on the attack. Information technology service giant Cognizant also suffered a cyber attack in April of 2020, allegedly by the operators of the Maze ransomware. Cognizant is one of the largest IT managed services company in the world, with close to 300,000 employees and over $15 billion in revenue. Cognizant remotely manages its client through endpoint clients or agents that are installed on customers' workstation to push out patches, software updates, and perform remote services. Another company recently victimized sells smart parking meters and technology used by parking enforcement agencies in cities around the world. CivicSmart, a Milwaukee firm that sells parking meters capable of processing mobile payments, and the hardware and software used in enforcing parking rules and mobile apps used by motorists and government employees alike, was hit last month with a form of ransomware known alternatively as Soldino Kibi. Messages posted to a website on which hackers named their victims and leaked stolen files in an attempt to elicit ransom payments suggested CivicSmart paid a ransom to have its files decrypted. Another attack carried out by a hacking group known as Ragnarok victimized EDP, which is the biggest energy company in Portugal and one of the largest wind power operators in the world. The attack utilized the custom Ragnar Locker ransomware that has been hitting managed service providers since late 2019. Ragnarok ransomware has publicly threatened to dump sensitive information from the 10 terabytes of data they stole if the energy company does not opt to pay their ransom demand of $10.9 million. Tech giants respond. Microsoft says there was a slight uptick in the volume of ransomware attacks during the first 2 weeks of April 2020, usually from ransomware groups that had already gained access to the victim's network several months earlier. Attackers have compromised target networks for several months beginning earlier this year and have been waiting to monetize their attacks by deploying ransomware when they would see the most financial gain, according to Microsoft's Threat Protection Intelligence team. The attacks demonstrate that these groups really don't care that they're impacting critical services during a global crisis, according to Microsoft. You know, as I think about the dangers that exist online, not unlike the subjects we learned about in this video, I know I feel a lot better having an anti-malware program like Spy Hunter installed in my PC, providing me the protection I need against malware, and I think you should too. Spy Hunter 5's strongest features are found in its malware repair capabilities. Spy Hunter 5's remediation algorithms dive deep into your system to remove and address complex malware issues affecting PCs today. While many anti-malware products only flag and quarantine malware and ultimately fail to fully remediate the root problem, the Spy Hunter 5 remediation algorithm detects, quarantines, and programmatically repairs malware problems on your PC. Spy Hunter 5 is a powerful PC utility that repairs malware threats in many cases where other competing anti-malware and antivirus programs may fail. To detect and remove malware for free, go to enigmasoftware.com and download Spy Hunter today. Thanks for watching.